And welcome to the No Show Sportscast. First pitch, face-off, kickoff, tip-off. Here for you Mondays and Fridays. I'm Matt Klein. The Vancouver Canucks are looking to keep things rolling. They've got a nice little stretch here as we are reaching the end of the season. And of course, wanting to make sure that first position in the Pacific Division is solidified. Montreal comes to town. A few other opponents, Calgary, LA a couple times, Arizona a couple times, heck, Vegas a couple times. Why not throw them all in there? The teams that they are looking to play, looking to beat in the very, very foreseeable future, and even upcoming. If the Vancouver Canucks can take care of business against them and eliminate some imminent threats, because these guys are coming in hot. They're coming in on the horizon. Edmonton battling it out against Buffalo. Hopefully, the Canucks can see a little bit more space develop between the two of them, because Edmonton's got 3 games ahead of them. And the Canucks have been taking their foot off the gas pedal because they didn't get this far by just cruising and just by being able to beat bad teams like Buffalo by 1 goal. And that game was unfortunately something that the Canucks needed. They couldn't make a statement at all. They couldn't find a way to be the team that was clearly better because they just snuck by, beating Buffalo 3-2. But regardless of that, it's fine because Montreal coming into town, obviously it's exciting. It's an exciting moment. You want to see what these guys can do. You want to make an impression maybe because, there's going to be a lot of other fans, and that's exactly what we saw. There's a lot of Montreal fans, one of those original 6 matchups. But Montreal ain't going anywhere, so there's this kind of duality between teams that are battling it out. They're going to take advantage of Vancouver, who's taking their foot off the gas pedal, and then there's a team like Montreal. They're just not going anywhere. They're kind of floating in a man-made lake that doesn't have much of an output. So they're going in circles, if anything. And they could take advantage of Vancouver as well because, well, look, this is not a staple game, okay? I've been saying it all year. You got to be able to beat bad teams, and you can lose to good teams. And now we've reached a point where these games don't matter as much, and the Canucks have not been focusing as well as they could be, just finding ways to lose to Washington. Washington is fighting for their lives, and Buffalo is fighting for their lives. They're not eliminated yet. We're almost there, but not quite, not yet. So teams, Calgary as well, they're coming up on Saturday. But Montreal, hey, it was obviously going to be a close one, I think. Maybe not so much, but the final scoreboard can say that. But then at the same time, you can also look at how the Canucks, they're clearly the better team. Like I mentioned, Montreal's not going anywhere, and Vancouver with a whole lot to hold on to, and being able to beat Montreal is huge because those 2 points, they're going to need them, especially with Edmonton finding ways to make it difficult against Buffalo, not convincingly taking care of them. That's a team that you got to circle on your calendar if you're Edmonton and say, we got to beat these guys. Same with Vancouver. It's very important. It's great, DeSmith has filled in very nicely. He's no Demko, but he's very solid of a backup. Him and Hronik and Susie and Sam Lafferty, these guys have been huge off-season additions. That is what the Canucks have to realize. That's the biggest difference maker. Of course, having a whole year with Tocchet. So that's great. Obviously, looking forward to the rest of the year because it is just coming down to the end here, down to the wire. Not exactly important games, but you can see how the Canucks are not even used to this situation because what we are used to is the Canucks at the end of the year needing to try and make the playoffs just barely by the skin of their teeth. That's what they've been focusing on, especially when Boudreau came. And a couple of years, well, it was a few years ago now, I suppose you could say, they're just looking to make the playoffs. And now the Canucks are not in that position. They're not 5 or 6 points back with 4 or 5 games left. So all of that is going on. And it's like there's really not a whole lot of identity. Well, yeah, there's identity left. There's a lot of energy, I suppose, because the Canucks aren't used to this kind of situation. So it's weird, you know. So are they going to be ready for the playoffs? I don't know. I don't want to jump there just yet because Demko needs to get back. He needs to get healthy. But they're still such a great team, and they're in a great position to be moving forward. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot that can hinder themselves except for themselves. These are just unknown waters. Now there's expectations. Oh, you're going to play Vegas or Nashville. Well, you're going to have to convincingly beat one of those teams. But that's still down the road. Nothing too much to worry about, obviously. We can sleep at night here in Vancouver. It's fine. All of that is taken care of. It's fine. It's fine. But hey, beating Montreal, that was great, you know. It was a nice way to kind of, okay, Edmonton's struggling with Buffalo. They're 3 games ahead. Let's just win a few of these easy ones. It's as if, you know, the Sharks and the Ducks and the Kings are coming to home. Okay, you have to beat. It would be a failure if you don't beat 2 of those teams. So that's the situation with Buffalo, Washington, and Montreal on this homestand. Continuing along, Calgary, LA, Arizona, Vegas, a lot of that. No more Eastern Conference teams. No more. Just leave us alone. Okay? Leave us alone, please. But hey, NHL is rolling along. March Madness underway, beginning Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all the way up until the middle of April there. Haven't been able to see a whole lot of it, but there have been some interesting upsets and some interesting just like what is going on sometimes, you know. And that is something that you want to kind of watch, but at the same time there's a lot going on. That's really what's happening. There is a lot going on. So it's hard to watch everything. But these March Madness games, they mean a whole lot more than regular season NBA. I mean, that season's coming to an end as well. Hockey wrapping up. Baseball beginning. And, wow, has it been already a fascinating start for Ohtani? He couldn't even make it through an entire day officially as an LA Dodger for something to happen. Now, this interpreter guy, Mizuhara, this guy is now apparently, I know it may seem like I'm late to the show here, but as far as initial reaction goes, this Mizuhara guy was total leeching off of Shohei Ohtani. I don't even know how any of this is possible, how any of this is happening here. Apparently, once you reach a certain status, your friends can ask you for $4.5 million, and it's not even unusual, I suppose. Because if Mizuhara wasn't going to get caught here with this $4.5 million that he owes Ohtani for covering him, for bets, and for lost wages, essentially, he made a stop in Las Vegas, wanted to go, but instead he ended up in lost wages. So if none of this would have happened, does this mean that Mizuhara would have just been like, okay, well, I took care of business. Okay, we didn't have to go through any illegal bookie, and all of this is taken care of now, and this is fine. If nobody noticed, if this wasn't an issue, does this mean that the 4.5 borrowed would have been taken care of by Ohtani, and nobody would have said a thing, and this would just be business as usual, and this guy would have stayed on the Dodgers? That's crazy. I don't even know. How is any of this possible? So, Ohtani, his people, his lawyers, he is for the time being not a part of any sort of investigation. Whoever's investigating, I mean, the MLB has got to be serious with this, because they have to make sure that the bookie doesn't say, of course, the truth will come out eventually, and Ohtani's going to do what he can to cover his rear end, and MLB is going to do their part to make sure that this doesn't get exploded and made worse and over-exaggerated than any way that it could be, because they got to protect their golden boy, but at the same time, the truth is always going to come out here. And I don't think for a second Ohtani was betting on sports games through an illegal bookie. I think that he just gave Mizuhara this loan. Oh, I mean, I doubt it's a loan, because is he going to be paying this back maybe in a 10-year, 20-year stretch? Giving him the loan that he had to cover and give it to the bookie. So it's looking like Mizuhara is the mediator, but that's just one way that it could be spun. And I don't think Ohtani had anything to do with this, but it does seem very odd. There is a way, okay, there's a world where we could say, hey, well, of course Ohtani was involved. He knew that this money was going in and out. It's not baseball related until it affects the biggest name in baseball. That's why this doesn't seem like a relevant story. It just is because, unfortunately, this guy is affiliated with Ohtani. But Ohtani wants nothing to do with this. He's trying to be the $700 million man. That's $1 million US for the Dodgers to represent the sport here and do something positive. Instead, not even 24 hours have elapsed since they played the Padres in Seoul. All of this goes down on Wednesday night. And, I mean, Yamamoto giving up 5 runs in the first inning against the Padres on Thursday morning. I mean, that is the least of the Dodgers' problems. Oh, yeah, Dave Roberts. By the way, you got to figure out what just happened to your ace, the guy you spent, was it $325 million for? Your complimentary ace to Glass now and Kershaw whenever he comes back. But, wow. Hard to believe that all this just unraveled. But I just don't see how Ohtani. If you told me that Ohtani's a secretive guy because he doesn't tell people that he's getting married and he doesn't tell people that he also does a whole lot of gambling on the side with horse races and basketball and football. Look, I don't buy that. I don't think that he's doing this illegal operation trying to get more and more money when the guy himself clearly doesn't need it. He gets paid probably whatever salary he was getting from the Dodgers. Okay, not all of that, but still. Not the 70 annual that he agreed to, but of course all of that is deferred for the next however many years, 10 or more. But endorsements that this guy's raking in. So I don't think he's looking for a way to get cheap and easy cash here at all. That's just not, no. Okay, this was clearly Mizuhara. He was doing all of this. And a Japanese bookie in LA, maybe, just taking advantage of a guy. Oh, yeah, this guy knows Ohtani really well. They're best friends. I mean, that's just tough. And I don't see this as something creeping into his game, because he had to show up and play, and he still has to show up and play. What is the deal with this Seoul series happening now? Kind of bizarre. And then they're going to have to go back and play more spring training games. Is that what's happening? We're within a week of the season starting. So the Dodgers, are they going to be able to move past this? I kind of just want to know what's going on here. The season is about to begin. We're going to get all into that. And we're going to find out more, obviously, about this Ohtani business, because this is crazy. And the Canucks, of course. So, for the meantime, obviously, just some quick pointers, getting into how the Canucks have been doing, what's going on with them, and of course, Ohtani being affiliated with someone, accused, and released from the team, accused of illegal sports betting with Ohtani's money. So, either way, we're going to get into all of that in the future. Fridays, right now, looking like the best. We do have more things coming in April, expanding times in April. So, a lot of that is coming.